We're getting to my favorite part of the day. The end of the day, I'm going to get out of here, but I'll be back later tomorrow. And Mr. Chris Swift's going to do the morning market day report, and I'm going to do the afternoon, and then we'll be off for 4th of July holiday. Waste no time. Let's get right in the corn board. We have an exciting corn board. We spoke before. There's some trade deals getting done. SEP corn 413.5 up 7.5. East corn 428.25 up 6.25. Looking at soybeans also. Interesting because, Scott the cow guy and I were talking off air. What are we going to tell these farmers? Well, we're going to tell them that beans are up 20. August beans, 10.51, up 21.5. No beans, 10.45.25, up 18. Watch the offers at that 10.50 level. Heading over to Chicago, border trade wheat. SEP wheat, 561, up 12. Dees wheat, 580, 10, up 10.75. We have a 6 handle all the way out in the May, 606.5, up 9.75. Heading over to Kansas City. It's not been doing as well as the others, but it's still hanging in there. SEP KC, 540.25, up 9. Want to waste no time and head over to spring wheat. Then we're going to jump to cotton. Then we have 2 guests this afternoon. Spring wheat, SEP spring wheat, 642.75, up 14. D spring wheat, 661, up 15. Let's look at cotton. Cotton's been struggling, but it's still up on the day. A real nice board here in all the grains. Cotton 68.15, up 47. Let's bring in Mark Soderberg from ADM, and then of course we have Scott the cow guy. We got 3 of us. I don't know who's the best looking. I'm going to go with Mark first, and then we'll default to Scott. But let's have a conversation about grains, gentlemen. We got some fireworks here pre-4th of July.
Yeah, we sure do, Tommy. Thanks for having me on, guys. Higher across the board here, all green on the screen, as I like to say. Really being driven, I think, by optimism. The big, bad, beautiful bill is inching its way towards the finish line and got a lot of growing demand here for bean oil as a result. It's seeing crush margins surge. Wheat prices, too, joining in on the act. I think we got the lower than expected harvested acreage figure on Monday from the USDA. I think that provides some good underlying support, and corn's kind of tagging along too. So it looks like we're going to get some trade deals announced. India, Vietnam, maybe a little bit of frustration over Japan, but hopefully they'll come around. So yeah, it's nice to see us start off the month here and a little bit better than how we ended June.
Yep. Let's get all dreamy. What would be a great price, guys, to be calling, texting, telling farmers you got to do something here in Dees corn?
I'd lean towards the 450 level here on the December corn. New crop beans, I think there's a little bit more upside there to go. We got to know a little bit more about this weather late July and into the August time frame with slightly lower acres here on Monday. Just makes it a little more critical that we achieve at least these trend line yields of this growing season or threaten to see ending stocks tighten up a little bit more. And of course, we'll be watching trade negotiations with China along the way to see if we can drum up a little bit more demand here for the new crop.
Yeah, let me head over to the right to the cow guy. Scott, did you notice crude oil's up $1.50? That always helps. Crude oil's really been struggling, but a nice boost in energy, sir.
Yeah, I mean, the energy spillover will always help, but it's also interesting to see how bad these markets really want a deal or something to get going on. We all talk about what's going to make this market kind of turn higher. Where are we going to squeeze out these shorts? And it's always the million-dollar question is, from where do we start this rally, right? And do we have to go to 375 to start the rally? Do we have to go to $4 to start the rally? Maybe, just maybe, we've started something here with these trade deals or some, the drip of good news. And maybe this is something that we've got something we can finally get our teeth into.
Yeah, Mark, excellent job. Scott, you were a great guest. I think we're going to have you on the show again. Stick around. I want to get your cell phone number and email. We'll have the production crew make sure we invite him back. That was Scott the cow guy. Stick around for that. That show now starts at 12:30. It's an hour long, and that was Mark Soderberg with ADM. All right, I'm Tommy Grisafi. We've got to take a break. We're going to be right back, and we're going to talk cattle when we come back with Mr. Dr. Darrell Peel from Oklahoma. Be right back. Welcome back to Market Day Report. Well, a lot of excitement here. All types of volatility in several markets. I want to talk cattle, in particular live cattle. We'll look at those quotes here as we go home for the day. August live cattle, 211.57, up 80. Oct live cattle, 208.85, up $1. Going all the way out to the Aprils, and Dees, Feb, and April, all with the 209 handle, each up $1. Feeders, they say, are the leaders, and I know there is a group of people who say, I can't believe they let us buy them. Earlier when we started the show, Early this morning, I said nothing would surprise me, especially if feeders turned it all around. Turn that frown upside down. Feeders on the high. August feeders 307.97 up 195. Sep feeders 307.72 up 2. Let's head over to lean hogs, and then we're going to bring in Dr. Daryl Peel, and Scott's still with us. August lean hogs 108.17 up 122. Deese hogs struggling but up 84.17. Dr. Peel, so good to have you on the show. Scott, the cow guy, is with us, and you are with us in spirit there on the phone. You are in Montana, in God's country, sir.
Yes, I am. Unfortunate. Well, maybe I'm sort of sad that I'm having to leave Montana. I'm on my way back to hotter Oklahoma, but I've been up here about 10 days enjoying some cooler weather.
Excellent. Optimism out there. I mean, a lot less drama as you get out in the country, get some fresh air. Not everyone has their face down looking at their phones, looking at X for what's happening in the world, correct?
Yeah, that's right. In Montana, in the northern plains, it's quite variable in terms of conditions. So some of the producers are still struggling with some drought conditions. I was on a ranch just a few days ago where the manager is actually considering whether he's going to have to pull and sell his calves early this year because they're so dry. The ranch looks like August right now. And so pretty tough conditions. Other places look pretty good. A lot of hay production this morning in south central Montana. I've already covered about 450 miles this morning, and so I've seen a lot of country today.
Yeah. I want to hand it off to Scott real quick. He's been involved in markets since he was a little kid, or both of you could answer this question. Have we ever seen the likes of this bull market in cattle? And not that it's an answerable question, but could this last a while?
I'll take that. I think we could definitely sustain it. I don't know how much higher we go from here, but you know what? We had the bad news yesterday, or not bad news. Market sold off on the news of opening up the borders. We're going to have 5 ports of entry. They announced the first one yesterday for New World screwworm from Mexico. And that market took a pretty hard. But you know what, Tommy, you're right. I mean, you look at the lows of the day and look at the market right now, we're on the highs. So even though we had a little bit of news that shook the market, some weak longs got out, this thing turned right around. So that tells me that it's still pretty healthy.
Yeah. Doctor, you talk to a lot of people and you're a great educator. Your opinion on this matter?
Yeah, exactly the same thing. The fundamentals are still strong. The border opening, we got to adjust to that news. It came a little sooner, I think, maybe than we expected, but it's going to phase in over time. It's not going to really change things that much. And I agree. We had a tremendous first half of the year with prices for feeder and fed cattle going up 18 to 20%. I don't think we'll go up that much in the second half of the year, but I don't look for us to really go down. Maybe sideways through the summer. We're still got some highs to go because we still haven't started saving enough efforts to rebuild this herd.
It's just a mathematical equation, isn't it, sir?
It really is. The bottom line is you can't rebuild this thing without saving heifers, and beef heifers have, you got one choice out of 2 possibilities, and if you save them for breeding, you can't be feeding them to eat, and that means we're going to make a tight supply even tighter before we get better.
Dr. Peel, I have a question for you before we go. What's on the menu here this 4th of July at your household?
Well, I'm not 100% sure what's planned, but I'm pretty sure it's something on the grill.
I like it. Make it up. That's what I've been doing all day. Thank you, Dr. Peel. I'm going to hand it over to Sky, the cow guy, and my friend Suzanne. I think we got Cow Guy Close coming up after this, right?
Cow Guy Close coming up, of course, at the bottom of this half hour. Thank you, Tommy, very much. I'm used to saying Tony. Sorry, Tommy Grisafi doing an incredible job.